Hi, this is Steven. Welcome to your practice. In this brief video, what I would like to have a look at together with you is how to stand tall. Sometimes we spend a lot of time in yoga or other disciplines and all kinds of complicated movements and poses. And we forgot that most of the time, what we're doing in a regular day is we either lie down or we sit down or we're standing. And today, what I want to have a look at is standing. I mean, really think about it. You're either lying down, sitting, or standing. So let's come up to standing. And let's try a couple of ways first to place the feet. The first one is bring your feet all the way together. Touch the inner feet down. I'd recommend to do this without shoes, but of course, if you live in a freezing country or you need shoes for whatever you're doing, then that will still work. So bring the feet all the way together. Stand up as tall as you can, and then close your eyes and just feel. And you'll feel little movements of your body, and it's trying to keep you balanced. And you probably feel you're a little bit top heavy. There's a weight in your torso, the rib cage, the head, and there's a narrow little base at the bottom. We could probably do a little bit better than this. So now look down and place your feet a little bit wider than the hips apart. Close your eyes and again feel. This is a wider base of support and it should feel way more stable. And then open the eyes again. Now place the feet hip distance. Now what are the hips? You might think of the hips as the outer hips here, but actually the hip joint is in the middle of the front of the hips here, and just think of it as being stacked above your ankle, above your knee, and above that line is the inner part of your hip joint. So that's real hip distance. So try this out. Press your feet down, close your eyes again, and just explore. There's going to be little movements inside your body. This is quite normal. Good. You can open your eyes. Now we're going to place the feet a little bit better, but first let's explore which directions the feet can move. So lift the inner feet. So now you're on the outer edges. And then roll onto the inner edge, lift the outer edge up. And then do that a couple of times, rolling the feet out and rolling them in. Let's do one more time, roll them out and roll them in, and you'll feel all the muscles of the legs, the inner side or the outer side, are moving along with this. And then settle in the middle. And then move your weight forward. Feel the toes are gripping when the whole weight of the body leans forward. And then move your weight back, and suddenly the heels are pushing down and the toes are starting to lift. You'll feel your quads turn on, the front of the legs. And then lean a bit forward, toes are gripping, lean a bit back. One more time, lean forward, lean back, and then settle in the middle, not forward, not back, just right in the center. And then lean a tiny bit more onto your left foot. Feel that whole left leg get heavier inside the left hip joint. There's a bit of more compression. And then lean more onto the right and just feel the weight shift. And let's do that 2 more times. So each side, lean to the left. There might be one side where you go like, oh, I always stand like this. And maybe the other side like, whoa, I never stand like this. It's good to notice these things, these little imbalances, because they can have a big effect if you're going to stand like that for many hours in a day, many years of your life. And then settle in the middle, not left, not right, just equally balanced on both sides. Imagine you've got a scale under each foot that is measuring the weight that you place on each leg. Yes. And then let's place the foot a little bit better than we already have. Just look down and see that the feet are more or less parallel to each other, so the toes are not turned out too much or not turned in. And we're going to make a little adjustment. Move the weight, let's start with the right foot. Move your weight a little bit to the front of the foot so that the heel becomes a bit lighter. Feel that the toes and the ball of the foot are rooting down. And then ever so slightly, without lifting the front of the foot, rotate the heel slightly in. I'm really talking about a centimeter or so, not more. And then place the foot down. It's almost like you get this boomerang or croissant shaped foot on the right side, and just compare the right and the left. The left, we haven't done anything. The right, we have sort of curved the heel in from the toes a little bit. Not that we've turned the toes out, this is a different thing. You have to be quite precise and just feel how alive the right foot and then up that leg feels compared to the left, which feels a little bit dead, at least in my experience. Good, let's keep the right foot. Let's do the same on the left. You're leaning a little bit more to the front of that foot. Lift the left heel just ever so slightly. You don't have to lift it really high, just make it a bit lighter basically. And then keeping the toes and the ball of the left foot down. Rotate the left heel in ever so slightly and then place it back down. Now both feet are alive, they're grounded, they're active, they have this natural curve, and in the middle of the foot feels like it lifts. It's a little trampoline which translates all the way up the rest of the legs. Nice. And then let's keep that, but grab a block or a cushion or something you can squeeze in between the thighs. So remember how we place the feet. Try to recreate that quite a bit more quickly than before. Now squeeze the inner thighs into the block. It's like a rotating your legs, you're screwing them into the ground externally. So the right leg screws clockwise, the left leg screws in counterclockwise, and you get the solid two pillars that now you're really able to count on and to stand on. Squeeze the block slightly, or the cushion or the blanket, and feel the outer hips, feel the inner thighs, feel the front of the legs, feel the back of the legs. It's like the whole, all the musculature in the legs is lifting up. Nice. And you can remove the block, or maybe you didn't have one and you just practiced without just visualizing, that's fine. And now engage your glutes and the belly 20%. I actually like to have one hand behind, one hand in front. And if you engage these two sets of muscles, they're big muscle groups, both of them, then you're going to feel like you're held from the front and the back like a sandwich, and you are the cheese. Sometimes it helps to have these little analogies to bring your mind into that space. Nice. Now, with your fingertips, touch the front ribs, the bottom of the rib cage, around halfway your torso. Just touch here and encourage the front ribs to stay down and in instead of up and out. That's not a good place to be. So keep the front ribs down and in. Just check how the feet, how the legs, how are the glutes and the core, and then the front ribs are in. Now let's set the shoulders, roll the shoulders forwards, lift the shoulders up, roll the shoulders a little bit back, and then just let the shoulders sink down your back and find their natural resting place. Might need to do that one more time. You can roll forward, up, back, and then don't roll the shoulders down, but let them just slide down the back and settle into place. And then lean the head a little bit forward and lean it a bit back. And you feel the whole body is actually reacting, but now you've got a strong base through the legs, to the torso, to the shoulders, so you won't be moving out of place too much. And then settle your head in the middle so that it's balancing easy at the top of the spine. You can do the same leaning left and right a couple of times, and then make the movement smaller so that suddenly you settle right in the middle, in the center point. Nice. And then here we have it. We've got the feet, they're screwed into the earth. Then the legs are doing the same. Imagine that block or cushion is still there to feel those inner thighs squeeze in a bit, feel the outer hips, then squeeze the glutes and the core, not with all your force, but just about 20%, just a light little hug from the front and the back. And then keep the front ribs in, keep the shoulders up, down, and sliding down the back. Keep the head lightly balanced at the top of the spine. And now we're standing with ease. Almost you feel like you could stand here for a very long time and nothing would happen to you. You can hold this. Good, I hope this was useful. Keep practicing, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. All the best.